Welcome back to my channel, guys. You see this one is called Zaporizhzhia. Okay, this is just south of Dnipro. Now Dnipro, the reason I'm mentioning about Dnipro is because the Oreshnik missile attack few days ago took place was there in Dnipro, the Oreshnik missile attack. Now after Dnipro, Zaporizhzhia came under attack. 250 bombs, in one report suggests, were dropped on this particular area. Now we'll talk about that in a second, but just to remind you guys, most of my viewers are not subscribed. If you happen to be one of them, consider subscribing. So right now situation is so bad that Russian foreign ministry, the government of Russia, they have asked their US citizen, their citizen not to travel to United States. Take a look at what is happening. Russia tells citizens not to travel to United States. Russians should also avoid heading to Canada and most of EU states, warns Moscow's foreign ministry. Why all of a sudden you will hear this kind of news from Russian foreign ministry? Well, it is not because it is not safe or that something could happen to you. No, I think it is much bigger than that. I think they're trying to hide something from us. Maybe, just maybe, they are preparing. Russia is preparing to attack some US military targets, just like the one they have targeted with drones in UK. For example, the MHS Elizabeth Queen naval base, I believe, was attacked, and also they attacked RAF base with drones in UK again. Russia could now target more UK bases and also US bases in European countries, and that's why perhaps they're asking their citizens not to go to United States because they could be in big trouble. So Russia dropped 250 bombs with big nuclear warning. Russia has launched a fresh wave of attacks on Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia, I should say, bombing in the region with over 250 strikes in just one day. I want you to take a look at the map one more time. This is where Zaporizhzhia is, and if you zoom out from it, you see where it is. So again, it is right here. You can see that red pin, and this is Ukraine, and this is obviously Russia, the biggest country in the world, and you have Kazakhstan, and so now Ukraine is obviously getting targeted, and you can see how close Poland is. Right after Ukraine, we have Poland. They share hundreds of kilometers of border with Ukraine. Then Slovakia, we know Slovakian Prime Minister, he met Zelensky. Then we have Hungary, we have Romania, we have other countries, European, Scandinavian, Lithuania, and many other countries, Latvia. All of these countries could be potential target, and this is why perhaps Russian officials, they are now warning their citizens not to travel to any of these European countries, United States, and also Canada. Now let's actually focus on something else. So 250 strikes, bombs were dropped, and that left 6 people dead, by the way, and 22 injured. The strikes caused significant damage to multiple buildings, with the regional governor confirming the ongoing emergency response. In addition to this, to make things even worse, US is giving, or they have given, Ukraine $20 billion in aid funded by seized Russian assets. The US has given $20 billion or 15 billion euro or pound, I should say, to Ukraine, funded by the profits of seized Russian assets. Now this is coming, guys. This $20 billion help going to Ukraine after the European nation, they have pledged that they will give Ukraine 4.3 billion euros. It was announced, I believe, yesterday, and now you see Ukraine has received 20 billion or 15 billion euros or pound, I think. In other words, Ukraine financially, they're very, very strong. They receive a lot of funding to continue this proxy war for United States and NATO, and they have no shortage of money, of US dollar pouring into the country. It also shows that these countries, European nation, United States, and NATO, they're ramping it up before Donald Trump would take office, so that Vladimir Putin will be cornered, and that Zelensky will be in a much stronger position to negotiate with him if there is any negotiation that will take place. Also, Russian officials report damage from Ukrainian air attacks in Bryansk, Rostov. Now, this region is very, very important, the Bryansk region, because this is where the ATACMS and the Storm Shadow missile of US and UK were launched. Bryansk was under attack. This time, it is also coming under attack from Ukraine through two types of device. One is the drone, the other one is missile. So Russian officials said Wednesday that Ukrainian aerial attacks caused damage in two regions along with Russia-Ukraine border. Ukrainian President Zelensky said after the attack that his government was talking with allies about getting additional air defense aid. So again, Zelensky is asking even for more aid, and I think the reason for that is because he's already getting so much aid, so he wants more. Every time he's coming under attack, he's asking the Western countries or NATO. He's actually already a NATO member. Think about this. Ukraine is no longer a non-NATO member anymore. They are part of NATO. The amount of money and weapon they're getting from US and from NATO countries, it's not less than if they were a NATO nation. You get my point? Zelensky, every time, even if they drop a grenade in Ukraine, Zelensky goes to NATO, hey, give me something to counter this grenade. I was attacked by a grenade. Or I was pinched by a pin by Putin. Oh my God, help me, help me, help me. And so Ukraine is NATO. I think it is time for us to really understand this. They are not officially NATO member state, but they will be very, very soon. That will also be fulfilled for Zelensky by the NATO members. Right now, we do not have enough systems, this is what Zelensky said, to protect our country from Russian missiles. Zelensky said in his nightly address. However, our partners have these systems. Again, I need those from you guys. NATO, I need those missiles. Once again, we reiterate, air defense systems should save lives, not dust in storage facility. Can you imagine the kind of rhetoric coming from Zelensky? He's almost like ordering NATO countries. You should not be storing this missile and air defense system only to gather more dust. You need to give it to me right now. Are you guys stupid? They're just gathering dust. This is the level of audacity that he's showing now. Why? Because he knows that NATO is done if they don't have Ukraine in their pocket. He knows it. Does he have any shame? No, he doesn't care about his shame. All he cares about, his ego and how he can defeat Russia. Therefore, you can see he's clearly giving them orders. Like that analogy of gathering dust on those air defense system is not something sitting well with me. So again, something obviously cooking behind closed doors. Now Russia, they have this stealth, with all the F-35s and F-22s, they're capable of evading radar system. They're stealth fighters. Remember that? Now what Russia is saying, no more. We have an answer for your F-35s and F-22s that you are so proud of having this stealth technology. The Russian Buk M3 Viking anti-aircraft missile system is capable of countering and deterring a wide range of modern threats. This is what the Russian company Rosoboronexpro said in a recent statement. Now, I want you to also, in addition to this technology, you should also take a listen at what Putin is saying here. Clearly threatening the Western countries with his nuclear weapon. In other words, Russia is using all means, all force possible to bring Zelensky under control, because it looks like he is becoming a very dangerous barking dog. Take a listen at what Putin is saying in this particular video.
Мы ее совершенствуем. А так, по большому счету, нам теперь нужно не ядерную доктрину совершенствовать, а орешник. Потому что, так-то, если разобраться, достаточное количество этих современных систем оружия ставят просто на грань практически отсутствия необходимости применения ядерного оружия.
Wow, can you imagine? He's saying that the Oreshnik is so capable that the days, good old days of using nuclear weapon, the rhetoric, the saber rattling with that is over, because Oreshnik is something unmatched, unbelievable hubris coming from this guy. But again, Oreshnik is a big deal for sure, because a lot of the military experts, they did make their statements about Oreshnik, and they said the European countries, NATO, they do not have any answer to Oreshnik. Let's take a listen at this report a little bit more about the stealth technology Russia has developed, anti-stealth technology. According to the Russian manufacturers, it is about deterring not only modern artillery shells and high-precision missiles, but also the stealth aircraft of U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II. The Buk or BUK-M3 Viking represents the latest evolution of Russia's long-standing BUK or Buk family of surface-to-air missile systems. So this is surface-to-air missile system, okay? And it signals a substantial leap forward in capabilities compared to its predecessor. So what does it basically mean? It means that these fighter jets, they're very fast. They're very, very fast. They're supersonic. They have all the capabilities that they need in order to evade those radar technology. But now Russia has added to their Buk family or BUK family surface-to-air missile system that was not seen before. Now, is it equivalent of S-400 or S-35? No, looks like this is something different, because the fighter jets, detecting them and shooting them down in the sky while they're flying needs one completely separate technology than missiles coming your way and shooting them down. So there are two different things. One is for the missiles, which is the S-400 system they have, and now this one is for the fighter jets. So that is the Buk M3 Viking, Buk M3 Viking. So this is the answer for the F-35 and F-22 Raptors that the Western countries, NATO nations, they have. Now, developed by Almaz Ante, this advanced platform is designed to neutralize a broad spectrum of modern aerial threats, including stealth aircraft, cruise missiles, drones, and even tactical ballistic missiles. It combines cutting-edge radar system, missile, and command technologies to form an adaptable and highly lethal air defense network, something a lot of countries will be interested in getting, because this is really, Russia is doing a tremendous job in countering all of these modern technologies that NATO has with their homemade, literally these are homemade, these are Russian-made technology. Now let's focus on the warning from Russia to its citizen not to travel to US. I think this is quite significant, because why would they all of a sudden say, no, don't go to US? It could be, one explanation could be because this is now holiday season. You know, the Russians, they are Christian, and so they travel to US for the Christmas party and all that. I think that would be the reason, and this is a traveling season. The airplanes, they're making a lot of money. So that could be the reason why this is coming from Maria Zakharova. She is the foreign affairs spokeswoman, and she issued this new warning in a new news briefing on Wednesday, saying Russians could be caught in the crosshairs of perilous relations with the US. Again, these warnings don't really mean much, but nevertheless, it is coming at a time when we know that Russia is taking some big steps in order to stop Ukraine joining NATO and surrender to Russia. Trips to the United States, this is what she said, privately or out of official necessity, are fraught with serious risk, she said, describing US-Russia relations as on the verge of rupture. I think it's not on the verge of rupture, it already ruptured, except that Russia will talk to their Russian official, they'll talk to their United States counterpart in order to warn them ahead if they are going to be launching a missile strike on Ukraine or any other European nation country. That's the only thing that remained, and that is a good thing. Also, as we have mentioned, guys, Ukraine is receiving a lot of aid. The economic support forms a significant part of $50 billion or 39 billion euro package agreed by G7 member nations announced in June. Funding the aid through frozen assets means Russia has to quote-unquote bear the cost of its illegal war instead of taxpayers, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said. This is an effort to blow Russia's economy because U.S. is facing a lot of setbacks when it comes to sanctioning Russia. And the reason for that is because Russian economy is still very robust. Their currency ruble is doing absolutely fantastic. In fact, in 2022, they were the top 5 economy and currency in the world, Russian ruble. So they know that if they want to bring an end of Russian aggression against Ukraine, or this war, if they want Russia to negotiate on a softer term, then they have no other choice but to make their economy suffer. So they're using this 25 billion, 35 billion, $50 billion worth of Russian assets to give it to Ukraine to fight against Russia. What Russia then will have to do, according to Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, U.S. Treasury Secretary, is that they will have to tap in to their own income or revenue, the government own income. It will affect the GDP and it will affect Russian economy big time. Instead of tapping into taxpayers' money, instead of asking Russians to pay for these expenses, for the war and for this defensive system that they're coming up with, including the Buck M3 Viking and all of those technologies that Russia is trying to develop. So it comes a matter of weeks before US President Biden is replaced by Donald Trump, who has said he wants to end the war in Ukraine quickly upon taking office. Of course, Joe Biden is not going to make it easy for Donald Trump to negotiate with Putin. What Democrats want is that they want Putin to bow down, regardless with whom Putin will negotiate. They want US to win. But for Donald Trump, it is not necessarily for only to US win, but also to have this whole thing stop. That's what Donald Trump is still parroting, at least. In his action, obviously he's doing exactly the opposite, because he has appointed advisors who are anti-Russia. The president-elect has characterized financial support to Kiev as a drain on U.S. resources, casting doubt on whether aid will continue under new administration. Again, something that we'll find out when Donald Trump will assume power, and then we'll see what he will do with all of this war expenses, and go from there. Some comments here, guys. Thank you, Zakaria. Thank you for all your comment. Ingrid, thank you, guys. Bubble, J Blue, I'll see you in the bubble. I'll see you in the next